Hello, everyone. So, last week, I just sat right in front of that. Let's go the other direction. Last week, we talked about being able to write a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Today, I want to talk to you again about retelling a story. And remember, retell just means being able to tell someone else the story after you've read it. Got my coffee. So, when we're retelling, we want to make sure we think of the who, the what, and the where. And last week, I read you Piggy and Elephant for our writing lesson. And it was my new toy. And remember what happens in the beginning. Piggy shows Gerald her new toy. Gerald breaks it. Piggy gets upset. Gerald gets upset. Squirrel comes in, tells them, oh, it's a break and snap toy, puts it back together. Piggy feels bad. Gerald says, no, I don't want to play with your new toy. I want to play with you because friends are better than toys. And then they walk off. So that is me retelling Piggy and Elephant, my new toy. Today, I want you to think about this book. We're going to read Willow by Denise Brennan Nelson and Rosemary Brennan. Sounds like maybe they're related. Illustrated by Sid Moore. So, we're going to read this, and I want you to think about the who, the what, and the where. Who is in the story? What happens in the story? Where are they? So that you can retell this story to your families. Willow by Denise Brennan Nelson and Rosemary Brennan. Illustrated by Sid Moore. Even on the sunniest days, Miss Hawthorne's art room was cold and dark. Everything was in its place. There wasn't a single broken crayon in the bunch. The students sat in their rows, silent and still, like eggs in a carton. Except for Willow. Rosy-cheeked Willow twisted around in her seat to look out the window. Face forward, young lady. Miss Hawthorne's icy blue eyes glared at Willow. Willow shivered. Miss Hawthorne's moods were as dark as her clothing. Miss Hawthorne doesn't look like much fun. One day in September, Miss Hawthorne handed out paper, paintbrushes, and paints. She told her students to make pictures of a tree and hung an example on the board. All the students painted trees with straight brown trunks and round green tops, except for Willow. Who ever heard of a pink tree? Miss Hawthorne asked with a frown. That's what I saw when I closed my eyes, said Willow. A few students giggled. Sam snorted. Pink stinks. The next week, Willow carried her well-loved art book to school. In it was a picture of a flamingo pink tree, painted by a famous artist. Look! Willow pointed, giving Miss Hawthorne her most magical smile. Miss Hawthorne glanced at the picture, then turned away with a scowl. Horrid little girl, she muttered, as Willow skipped off. Well, that's not kind. In October, Miss Hawthorne passed out paper, paintbrushes, and paints. She told her students to make pictures of an apple tree and hung an example on the board. All the students painted trees with straight brown trunks and round green tops and red apples. Everyone except Willow. Miss Hawthorne pointed with a long, bony finger. Look at the mess you've made. And there is no such thing as a blue apple. But that's what I saw when I closed my eyes, said Willow. Some of the students giggled. Sam laughed. Especially hard. Yeah, whoever heard of a blue apple? Sam's a jerk. I don't like Sam. The next week, Willow carried her well-loved art book to school. She showed Miss Hawthorne a picture of a tree with blue apples. Then she reached into her backpack and took out a blue apple. "This is for you," she said, handing it to Miss Hawthorne. Miss Hawthorne's face turned crimson. Ooh, crimson. What color is crimson? Let's maybe take a look at the picture and see if we can guess. Crimson's kind of like red, like a deep red. "Horrid little girl," she muttered as Willow skipped off. See Willow skipping off. Miss Hawthorne being all frumpy. "Stop! Willow! No! No, no, no! Put that book away. No polka dot pigs. Too messy. No scribbles. No swollen. No snowmen. Oh. No snow ladies. Snowmen. No purple cats. No. Willow." And autumn flew past. Willow always seemed to be in trouble in Miss Hawthorne's class. "Stop daydreaming, Willow. You broke another crayon. Willow. Willow, put that book away." Most of all, Willow got into trouble for not painting things the way Miss Hawthorne wanted her to. Excuse me. I'm not sure I like Miss Hawthorne very much. The day before winter vacation began, students brought presents for their teacher. No one brought a present for Miss Hawthorne, except Willow. Miss Hawthorne stood at the window watching Willow and her other students board the buses. She wasn't in any hurry to leave. No one was waiting for her at home. Miss Hawthorne walked to her desk. She was surprised to see a gift. No one ever gave her gifts. "To Miss Hawthorne, my art teacher, from Willow." Miss Hawthorne slowly unwrapped the package. Nestled in a bed of tissue was Willow's well-loved art book. Miss Hawthorne sat holding the book for a long time. No one ever gave Miss Hawthorne a gift. I mean, she is pretty mean and pretty rude, so I'm not, all that surprised, but it still sucks for her. It was dark outside when she walked to the cabinet where the art supplies were kept, locked away. Miss Hawthorne filled her arms with paintbrushes, paints, colored pencils, and a sketch pad, and carried them to her desk. She flipped open the sketch pad and stared down at the blank page. Finally, Miss Hawthorne picked up a colored pencil. For the first time in her life, Miss Hawthorne doodled. That really surprises me. Outside, the wind howled, trees creaked and strained and broke where they could not bend. Snowflakes swirled upward. The lights flickered off. Miss Hawthorne sat in the darkness. When the lights came back on, Miss Hawthorne's fingers found the wet paint and spread it across the page. The school custodian poked his head into the classroom. He stopped, astonished at what he saw. Astonished means surprised. What do you notice about Miss Hawthorne? Across town, Willow stood at her bedroom window, peering at the soft, fat snowflakes through her spyglass. After a while, she climbed into bed and fell asleep, wondering if Miss Hawthorne liked her presents. I like this little snowman. That's not how I would decorate a snowman. It's really cool. When the students returned to school in January, everything was the same as always, except the art room. With wide eyes and open mouths, the students stood rooted in the doorway. Willow was the first to step inside. What do you think Willow sees? Behind a graceful willow tree covered in paint from head to toe, a woman was painting. Do you know where Miss Hawthorne is? Willow asked. When the woman turned around, the students gasped. Miss Hawthorne? Asked Willow. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, Willow, Miss Hawthorne said. Grab a paintbrush. I need your help. Delighted, the students did as they were asked. This time, everyone painted just the way they wanted. I don't think I showed you this picture. Look at Miss Hawthorne now. Especially Willow. So, I want you to think about who is this book about? What happens first, next, then, and last, and where does it take place? All right. Have a great day, and I will see you all very soon. And I hope you enjoyed Willow. Bye.